how to use KvCORE to create a comparative market analysis in just minutes. My name is KvCORE from KvCORE Homes, and I'll be showing you how to do this step by step using the KvCORE system. Of course, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment below. But without further ado, let's get straight into this. All right, so when you log on to KvCORE, you're going to be greeted by your dashboard like you see right now on my screen. The way to start creating the CMA will actually be within the marketing tab. Okay, so you want to go on the left-hand side and click on the marketing section. If you don't see this, it's probably because the menu is collapsed. You want to click on the three bars at the top left to expand the menu and then find marketing. So once I click on marketing, we'll see the screen with a bunch of different boxes we can click on. What we're interested in today is called Core Present, and this is absolutely free. Again, it's just going to take minutes. It's going to build a very beautiful presentation for our client. So we're going to click on Core Present right here. I'm going to click Get Started in blue. And what that's going to do is it's going to open up a new tab through which we can start creating that CMA report. So once we get into Core Present, you're going to get a lot of different things you can click on, but they all almost do the same thing. So you can either click on win the listing or win the offer. Regardless of which one you click on, you will be able to create that comparative market analysis. So for the sake of this tutorial, let's go ahead and click on win the listing. And in here, it's going to ask you what the address of the subject property is. Because obviously, if you're going to do a comparative market analysis, you need a subject property to compare everything else, around to. So we're going to type in a random address here just for the sake of, this tutorial. I like to do 123 West Spring Street in Long Beach because 123 is what comes to mind every time. Once you put the address in there, you want to click next. And then KvCORE will pull some information from the MLS or from the internet and actually try and find out some more information about this property. And you want to double check that everything you see on here is accurate. Because this is just an example, I'm not familiar with this property. It's just a random one I'm putting on there. I'm not going to go ahead and check to see if this is accurate or not. But for the purposes of, you actually using this, you want to make sure all these details are accurate. Because if this was actually 4 bedrooms instead of 3, and I went ahead and showed this to my lead or my client, I would be showing incorrect information. So make sure all of this stuff looks good. And more, I've never had an instance where KvCORE pulled the wrong information, but it never hurts to double check. So once you put in the subject property in here and everything down here matches, year built, living area size, the bedroom count, and the type of property, we want to click on the gray button down here that says comparable details. So I'll click on that. And once I do, it'll open up this screen through which we can start, building our CMA for our clients. So do not be scared of this screen. All this shows is all of the information you need to start selecting your comps. Okay, so we'll go through each of these little sections step by step. So on the left-hand side here, you get 2 bars. You get the automatic bar, so that says auto, and then you get the manual. The only difference between these two is under auto. So the auto tab will let you select all of the different criterias you want to utilize when searching for comparable properties around, a certain designated radius, which you can tweak. So I'll show you all that. So when it's on auto, you can choose the property types to look for. You can choose the year built or, a range. You can choose how far back to look for comps. You could be, 3 months out, 6 months out, a year out if there's not enough to compare to. Bedroom count, square footage, and total lot size. So you can tweak all of that information right here on the left hand side. If you've already done your comparable market analysis, say on the MLS, and you want to plug all of those different comparables in here, that is something you can do, and you don't have to research for everything on KvCORE. So you can just grab the MLS IDs and just paste them in here. And as you paste them in here and click the blue button, they will populate on the map. And already you can have all of that data set for you. Okay, but if you're just starting and you want to do everything in one place, just keep the auto tab highlighted here and you can select all of the different criteria for your comps. Okay, I'm not going to change anything here, but we're just going to click through all of these. So it's right now it's searching for all properties that match, single family that are built in the year of 1920, just like my, subject property. We can look as far back as, 24 months, but right now it's set to 6 months, and I think that's okay. Bedroom count, I want to stay exactly on point. So that is what KvCORE did for me. So it's looking for everything with also 3 bedrooms that's sold in the last 6 months. Down here, we can see the square footage. Looks like it has a 20% buffer. It's going to include everything that has less than 20% or more than 20%, of our property living area square footage. And you also have a little checkbox here to include listings that do not list the information within their property description. I personally don't like to check this button because I want to make sure that I'm comparing apples to apples and not apples to oranges. Okay, but sometimes if that's all you got, you can check this and include those also. And then last but not least, we have the total lot size, which you can also look for comparables with. But I'm not going to change anything. I already have a bunch of different options just from the criteria that are already set. And down here, I can also manually add, just like on the manual tab, I can manually add certain MLS IDs to include as comps. Okay, so that is what you can find on the left-hand side. So I'm going to collapse all those sections like so. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the right-hand side. At the top here, we'll see the address of the subject property, which is what we put in together, 123 West Spring Street in Long Beach. And then you will see all of the specifications, if you will, of our subject property. It's a single family home, 3-bed, 1,200, almost 1,300 square feet, and built in 1920. And right below that, you'll see the criterias we've set to find all of our comparable properties. So remember, I didn't change anything. I could have, but right now I'm just rocking with what KvCORE selected for me. So we're looking for everything that matches single family, has 3 beds, between 1,000 to 1,500 square foot, and we're looking between, anything sold between now and 6 months ago. Okay, so down here, you will be able to see a map. And on this map, you can kind of see all of the different properties that match this criteria. So if we zoom in on the map a little bit, I want to make you aware of something that might not be obvious on the first go. So right in the middle, everything's going to be centered around our subject property. And if you look up top here, you can choose what kind of map you're looking at. So right now I have the regular map highlighted. If I choose satellite, it'll give me this map right here. Okay, I like the map. It's easier on the eyes. You can reset all of your map criterias right here, or the visuals through here. So if you want to select a specific area by drawing a polygon on the map, you can click on draw a shape, this button right here, this funny button right here. So when I click on this allows me to draw my own perimeter to find comparable properties. So you want to just circle and connect all the dots at the end, and then you create your own search radius, if you will. And if you want to clear that, what you can do is click reset, and then it will bring it back to a 1 mile radius around the property. Okay, so if you want to increase this radius, you can click on here and type in how many miles you want to look for comparable properties. So if I type 7 and click on 7 mile, you see the radius will get much bigger. But obviously this is going to include too many properties, as you can see. So we're going to stay at the 1 mile mark here, and we'll only look at what's around the property itself, which is, what you should be doing in the first place. So if we zoom in here, you'll see that things are color coded. Okay, we have green pins, we have yellow pins, and we have red pins. Also, we have darker versions of reds, lighter versions of red, and as such with the other colors too. So what that means is all of the full colored pins show you all of the comps that KvCORE has selected to include in the final report. And all of the darker colors are just properties that almost match those criterias, but is still being shown in case you want to take a look and potentially include them manually. So for example, this orange house icon right here is our subject property. So this is the address we put on here at the top. If I wanted to, so if we look at this pin right here, okay, so this red down here, if we look at what the reds means sold matches. So these are past sold properties. So this full colored red one, when I click on it, it will give me the address and all of the details of the property. So as you can see, it matches all of my criterias. It's about 12% larger than my subject property, but if you remember, under the criterias we've set, we can go as high as 20% more or 20% less. Okay, so this matches my criterias. But if we go to a red one with the gray, inside, the gray fill and the red outline, this one you will see does not match all of my criterias. If you see here, it says 2 beds when in fact we're looking for 3 beds. Okay, so all of the darker ones just show you what almost matches all your criterias but not quite, and you can click on them and add them manually by clicking add to comps. And when I do so and zoom back in, I wish I didn't do that, but you see now it is manually added and therefore the color changed. But if I want to exclude this from my list of comps, I can click remove comps and then that goes away. Okay, and down here you're able to see, based on the radius you selected, how many active properties, coming soon, pending, and sold matches there are. So once you're satisfied with all of the selected comps, what you can do is click on the button at the bottom right that says next build CMA right here. So I'm going to click on that. So once you click on that, you'll come up, and you'll see the screen, and it will show you a bunch of very, very valuable information. And we'll get started at the top left here. It'll tell us where this market report is being built for, and that's going to be the subject property address, of course. So you'll see that here at the top left. It'll tell you when this was actually created to, and it's valid for March 9th as of the date I'm recording this video. And then this is something the client will actually be able to see. So everything from here, everything you're seeing on this screen is what the client will be able to see, or maybe the lead or the prospect. So they'll see a quick definition of what a CMA is, how many comparables you chose for this analysis, and you can also click on edit search criteria right here on the top right if you want to change some things around. Okay, and it'll give them a little description here. To be considered a comparable result for the analysis, properties must at a minimum match the following criteria, which is the criteria we've set. So about 1,000 square feet all the way up to 1,525, as well as 3 bedrooms. Okay, so on here, this is what the client or lead buyer or seller will be able to see after you're done. If we scroll down a little bit, it'll give us this very, very cool infographic. It's going to have a pricing timeline, if you will, and it's going to jot down very important information based on the comps you chose. So if you see here, KvCORE will automatically add certain things such as the average of the pending comps that we've selected, the average price of the closed comps, average of the active comps, the closest active to the property, the closest sold. So it's gonna jot down all of these key information right here on this timeline for you, and you obviously will be able to show this to the client or the lead. So on here, you can also jot down your own information on this timeline. Let's say based on the comps, you want to price this property somewhere in the middle. So let's say maybe 900,000. So on here, you can go to the agent price tab and you can type your own price. So I'll type in $900,000 and then I can click add. And right here, if you notice on the map, it's going to put my name and then create a little section where it says, this is what I think we should price your property, sir. okay, which is pretty cool. And if you want to remove that, you can click on the remove button right here and that'll make it go away. But already this is very good information you can show your client. It's going to make them see what's going on around them and why the property should be priced accordingly, you know, based on all this information right here. And if we scroll down, you will be able to see, you know, more details about all the comps you chose. You'll see the average monthly list and sales price of the area, you know, of all the active comps and pending. You'll be able to see, you know, how fresh or stale certain listings are, the selling pace, price per square feet, and a bunch of very good information that they can click on and actually see, you know, graphics for the selling pace. We can see all this nice graphs right here. So that's really cool stuff. So this is how you create a CMA. Once you are done, you can click Save CMA Only. Once we do that, it's going to open up a little box that we'll see very shortly here. It's going to open up this box that will say Add Client. So obviously you're building this for someone in particular. If you're going to do, you know, a CMA, it's probably a seller. If not, maybe it's a buyer and you want to see what a property they're trying to buy might actually be worth. So let's go ahead and type a random person's name right here. I'll put Amy, which I always use for these examples. So once I choose Amy, Amy is someone who's already in my KvCORE database. So the drop down here will show you all of the people within your KvCORE. If you don't have the person's information on your KvCORE, you know, the person you're building this for, you can click right here where it says don't have a KvCORE client created. Click here and you'll be able to create you know, that contact into your KvCORE CRM and then attach this CMA to their contact. So I'm just going to select Amy because she's already in my database, and I'm going to click add. And once I do, it's going to load up and it'll tell me this report has been saved to past reports. So the way to find this CMA and actually share this with Amy is to go back to my KvCORE right here. Okay. And we can go to our smart CRM and I'm gonna find Amy. Okay, so you can find Amy by going to the search bar right here, typing her name, or you can just go to your smart CRM and, you know, just click on her name by scrolling and finding her. So I'm gonna click Amy, and then you'll notice on the bottom right here where it says Core Present, which is the tool we just used to build the CMA, it will show us all of the past reports we've built. Okay, so I've done this twice. This is take 2 of this video. So you'll be able to see the CMA we just built for Amy on the top, on the right hand side of the screen. If not, it'll also pop up on the timeline. So if you see here, it'll say Core Present created, you know, presentation for Amy. And it'll tell you the address, and I can click on this text to actually pull up the CMA presentation. So I'm gonna do that. It'll open up a new tab and we can actually see what the presentation looks like. As you can see, it, you know, puts it in this very nice PowerPoint-like presentation format. It'll have the address and it's branded to me and my brokerage. So I can click the next button here, and if you look on the top right, all of this information is my information. Okay, and the way you would share this with Amy would be to just copy the link and then just send it via email. You can text it to Amy, or you can put it on a QR code so that anyone can, you know, scan it and get taken to this presentation. But there it is, and it's even interactive. You know, I can click on all of these little buttons and get more information about all the properties, you know, all the comps I have on here. And there you go. Now we can see this infographic that we have built. Amy will be able to click on all of this, see more information. Very cool stuff. I can, you know, play around with all of this. And if we go next, this is the last, you know, section where Amy will be able to see all of the average monthly list and all of this key info that she can utilize to better understand her market and, you know, help me suggest a price based on this information. So that is how you create a CMA from KvCORE in just minutes. I hope you enjoyed this video and I was able to provide some value and hopefully show you something you didn't know before. If not, still leave a like on this video, comment if you have any questions, and you can always go to agents.KvCORE.com to book a one-on-one with me, and we can talk all about KvCORE, social media, branding, pretty much anything to help you succeed as a real estate agent. Okay, so yep, you have a great one. See you in the next video. Bye bye.